I just want to start with these developments that we've seen over the weekend with the EFF's solution to coalition governments in the hotly contested metros here in Gauteng, saying that they want to take the capital and they can offer Johannesburg to Mashaba and the ANC can stick with Ekurhuleni. What do you make of that?
Yeah, a very good day to you, good day to your viewers. I think it's a question of saying who wants to be at the dinner table. It's tempting to say it's a scramble for scraps, but when you take a different perspective to what the EFF is proposing, it tells us that these are not scraps. These are very important municipalities, strategically, symbolically, and it's their chance to make a proposition that would then at least salvage something in what became somewhat of an unexpected performance on the EFF's part. So it pretty much tells us that there could be an element of desperation, although publicly it might not be announced and accepted as such. But it's a window of opportunity on the part of the EFF to exploit the space that is made available. No wonder the immediate reaction by Action SA is to suggest something indifferent on the basis that the ANC's potential participation is punted as the main reason. I think there is more to that position. I think Action SA is aware of the fact that the three metros are the biggest and hold some kind of prestige if, of course, they are controlled by either of the three parties, and they would want their name up front.
Now, of course, a lot has come out since the local government elections, with a lot coming into the media about what's happening and allegations that talks between the Action SA as well as the DA have collapsed, etc. But it was very interesting to see what the EFF said, for instance, yesterday, sticking to that statement, Prof, saying that at the end of the day, they will need the ANC to vote the mayor and the mayor into these different municipalities. Yeah. Would you agree with this? Herman Mashaba says that's not true. They don't need the ANC.
It's a numbers game, really. And then, of course, following what the prescripts of the Constitution as well as the relevant legislation would dictate. I wish there was a way to bypass those prerogatives. There isn't. Somehow they need to follow the law and make sure that they play by the rules of engagement. Yes, numbers, do they match outside of the ANC? This is going to be the difficulty in a number of all these hung municipalities. 66 of them, it's quite a huge number. And I'm afraid in some cases, we may end up taking the route of by-elections to resolve the impasse that we see today.
Now, of course, only a few weeks remain, and I don't know if you make anything, Prof, of the fact that the EFF has come out and spoken a lot, Action SA has come out and spoken a lot, even the DA, but not so much the ANC, even refusing for the media to speak to any of their mayoral candidates. Do we make anything of that?
We should. There is this element of clandestine behavior that secret talks will be about secret talks, unfortunately, which sadly, by extension, leaves out the individual constituencies of the various political parties. It leaves the public in awe, not knowing exactly what is going on. This is the sad part about South Africa's experience of coalition arrangements, as it were. It doesn't involve everyone in sundry from the beginning, to negotiations, to bargaining, and of course, ultimately the outcomes thereof. It's up to the leaders themselves to cast a way forward. And of course, their discretion might not necessarily be what some of those constituencies would want to see happening. Action SA is beginning to experience this problem. We're seeing cracks in their Soweto constituency where some members are unhappy with the way in which these negotiations are being handled. It's the manner, unfortunately, in which our democracy, South African style, is handled. Let's see what this week, which is the only period left, will yield as a possible potential outcome.
Prof, I'm running out of time, but I just want to ask you very quickly. I'm interested to know, because the media has been asking Mr. Mashaba about his willingness to work with the DA even after that dramatic exit in 2019. But of course, we know he said no to the ANC outright. But, you know, there are some people, for instance, even in that ward, who might feel as though he's going back to the very same people that refuse for him to give services to the poor.
Yeah. Look, there isn't much differences ideologically and as well as policy perspective between what Mashaba and the DA stand for. Perhaps points of emphasis is that Mashaba has gone out openly to be more pro-poor in his approach to resolve some of the challenges that our society is faced with. That could be one of the minute differences. But other than that, I think in the heart of his hearts is that it's a better devil to work with than the ANC. And given the option to resolve these minute differences, he's likely to sit on the same dinner table with the DA.